themselves from accusations that they helped fuel the violent storming of the Capitol. Bloomberg's Ben Brody, who covers the tech industry, joins me now from Washington. Ben, thanks so much for being here. What are the sort of ramifications for big tech and that big tech potentially faces after last week's events?
Well, I think the most immediate thing that's happening right now is you see Twitter, dropping, Twitter shares dropping pre-market. The question is there going to be a big conservative user exodus now that, President Trump isn't on the platform anymore? So I think that's the most immediate thing that they're going to do. But then I think you turn to Congress and you have the Democrats who, as Billy mentioned, really want to punish people for the events of last week. And that could really mean coming down on the platforms, looking at their liability protections, maybe even going after them for antitrust.
Okay, so let's take a step back and remember what happened late Friday. The president permanently suspended from Twitter late Friday, and then over the weekend we learned that Parler had been removed from Apple and Google's App Store, and then late last night, Amazon said it would stop. Well, Amazon enacted essentially moving away from allowing Parler to be hosted on its AWS web servers. What are we learning about the way that big tech is treating, or the shift that we've seen in big tech in the past few days?
Right. They've been facing months, if not years, of calls from the civil rights community to really crack down a lot more on violent content, violent events, potentially groups that are violent. They have largely pushed back on that, said that they respect privacy, said that these platforms are generally, they're 98% good, 99% good. That went totally the other way. You even had Google and Apple pulling Parler from the App Store. They are basically looking at this landscape, I think, and seeing that basically a lot of that criticism may have had a little more merit than they gave it credit for. But as I said, I think they are also seeing Democrats are about to sweep into power, and Democrats blame them for a lot of these things and could come down really hard. And I think they see a business imperative, a moral imperative, and a political imperative all lining up at the same time to just sweep this stuff away.
Ben, as we're speaking right now, a headline just crossing the Bloomberg terminal right now saying the White House is discussing Trump big tech remarks today. What do you anticipate the Trump response would be to this so-called deplatforming of the president?
Yeah, Trump has been fascinated by Section 230. That's that liability protection that I mentioned earlier. It protects them from lawsuits over user content. Trump has long believed that it enables what he calls censorship, what we would call deplatforming. And so he may go after that again. He has already gone after that. Over the summer, he signed an executive order that tried to push the Federal Communications Commission to basically rein in Section 230 and make it more difficult to moderate political content. That effort died last week at the FCC. The outgoing Republican chairman said he wasn't going to push it through before he went out. So it's not clear exactly what the president can do, but we do expect that he might be trying to go after Section 230 once again. Maybe he'll come out and support some of those antitrust measures. It's a little unclear. We'll be watching.
Ben, you mentioned just very briefly the sell-off that we're seeing early today in Twitter stock as a result of ostensibly of this ban of President Trump. What are the business implications of these companies saying, hey, we've drawn the line with some of this content, with some of these users?
Absolutely. We have seen a lot of people, conservatives, right-wing people, saying that they are exiting these platforms. They have to find somewhere to go. It seems like that was going to be Parler, but of course that has kind of been swept off the table now as well. So where they go and what they stand up next, I think, is going to be the big question. And then also whether they can stay away from news and culture and all those other things that will still be on Twitter. But it's definitely going to be at least a bad day. But we'll see how long of a bad ride that's going to be as those users exit.
Bloomberg's Ben Brody in Washington. Ben, thank you for your time. It's great to have you on Quick Take this morning.